Hiya. It's still January somewhere, right? Right. I'm Grimith, and this is a channel update video for Let's Get On With It, specifically pertaining to January 2020. I put off this update until the end of last month, then I got sicker, which dissuaded me from recording, dissuaded me from sitting down, or eating. Here we are. Great. Not that I have much to review. Finished off Daggerfall Unity Run, then did two entertaining forays into Daggerfall Classic, as I've chosen now to call it, much like Coca-Cola Classic. Luckproof version 1 and Luckproof version 2, just two flimsy pretexts to replay the game I love and compare and contrast it with what Inner Karma and the Daggerfall Workshop forums have done with Daggerfall Unity. Also had the Might and Magic 7 Joke Goal Marathon, 17 hours of perfect, I did it again, and other incredible content. That was, you know, viewers paid for that. All $694.20 of it, and I'm glad to have delivered upon that. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I might even return to that save at some point. I haven't made up my mind. Now that the conduct has been mostly neutered. Or I may do another foray into Might and Magic 7 for Blood and Honor. I do enjoy that game, and replaying it on the broadcast, reminded me of how fun it was. But the only thing of local recorded substance that happened on the channel in January was Clandestine, an asymmetrical stealth hacking game. I'm playing co-op with Lethal Feline. We did one session, which covered about, 35% of the game. He hasn't uploaded his end yet. We didn't coordinate on that front. And he's also been really sick. He's managed to squeeze on a few broadcasts of his own, which he does at twitch.tv/lethalfeline, like every morning at 6 a.m. U.S. Mountain Standard Time. Well, he tries to, but he has been sick of late. Hopefully his audio will be better balanced than mine. I don't get many cutscenes, so I don't get many, subtitles over, dialogue. But he's trapped in the spy perspective, whenever he interacts with people. So he's got, a little decision wheel, and that pops up, and, presumably he'll actually have more subtitles in his interactions. I'll do a better job of sound balancing for next time. I've also learned a few tips along the way. One in particular I can think of that'll be pretty enjoyable, thanks to viewer comments, so I do appreciate that. Clandestine's a fun game, and I'm looking forward to playing more of it. He and I already did a playthrough of it before we chose to do this one. We just have to, feel healthier. And that's it for what I did on YouTube. We didn't get on with much. Now, I did broadcast much more in January, but I have been reluctant to transfer stuff over. And that's following a mindset that has developed in my mind over the past year or so, as I have been reflecting on my attitudes towards Let's Get On With It, and my YouTube channel, and social interaction across different platforms, and how I feel about the stories I tell and how I wish to share them with others. I do not wish to engage in a long-form discussion about that right here, right now, due to my mindset and other plans I have for today. My desire to get some semblance of an update out. Otherwise, I can't really shoehorn it under a January update anymore. The short of it, of what I've been sharing in interactions with folks already, is that I see my streaming platform now as a different voice than my local recording platform, as opposed to just being a supplement to my local recording platform. That's what Twitch and Hitbox and Beam, which became Mixer, were for me originally, which was just like a little supplemental thing. And I would transfer over almost everything from Twitch to YouTube. And now I feel different about that. There's just more content I do on Twitch, and you can see that stuff with years past, like how I stopped transferring over all of my Payday 2 broadcasts. I was like, I've shared plenty of Payday 2. I don't need to, like, preserve any more of this. Just, hold on, let me take a drink. I gotta wet my lips, throat, and, well, everything is dry, we'll say. Keep it moist. Damn it, I derailed myself. Where was I? I didn't take any notes. Yes, two different, distinct voices, and we've seen this, beforehand with, there being like a Shadowrun that I never transferred over, like a Shadowrun playthrough, and like Payday 2 content. There'd just be other things where I look at and I go, no, I gotta curate my own content here, and I don't think that'll transfer over well, so I just decided not to transfer it over. I felt increasingly that way over, well, basically since I came back to Twitch. Hitbox was very spotty with preserving, like, recordings, and Beam/Mixer, well, they don't do that. You can, like, take little clips, but you can't highlight, like, entire, like, broadcasts and have them preserved in perpetuity like you can on Twitch. I still have, highlights from fucking 2012, 2013 on here still. So yeah, it can be difficult to sift through these. I haven't made any collections, which Lethal has, and would be a convenient way of sifting through all the stuff I've highlighted. But extending back into last year, you can find co-op playthroughs of Total War Shogun 2 that I did. You can find playthroughs of Total War 3 Kingdoms that I've done with the same person. You can find a run or two of Aerobiz. I don't think I transferred over. There was some Aerobiz. I don't think I transferred over the Cook Serve Delicious 2 stuff either. And I don't have much of an opinion for you on Cook Serve Delicious 3. I will look into that whenever the game is actually released, instead of being in early access right now. I've done some One Finger Death Punch 2 and some Mother Gunship. My friend and I have done some co-op Stardew Valley while we've been waiting for Total War 3 Kingdoms to unfuck itself with the 1.4 patch. And that's basically where I'm at with that right now. And some of this stuff I might eventually transfer over, like the One Finger Death Punch and the Mother Gunship. But there's some other stuff that I just don't see as being in this locally recorded voice. I said I wasn't going to talk about this too much. Damn it. I've said many things and ended up reneging on them. What's one more, right? Now, there's other, like, thoughts I have, like, what if I just make, like, an archive channel, like, folks have asked me for years to make a separate channel where I do role-playing stuff and not pour that into Let's Get On With It, but I just don't, like, that's not something that interests me. Twitch, like, serves as the appropriate platform for preserving and archiving that stuff, and YouTube can end up getting some of that. Used to be almost all of it, that's like shifted into most of it, and now it's some of it that I feel is appropriate fitting for the stories that I tell here. So yes, different ways of telling stories, particularly now that I see this less as a supplement and more as just, a fully formed and defined facet of me. Let's get on with it live, and then let's get on with it. I think I articulated that well enough to be a bit more than a summary, like a more effective summary. This is what happens when I don't take notes these days. Right. So, now that we have that, and me broadcasting at various obscure times, and me not uploading many announcement videos anymore about when I'm broadcasting, because I don't do that now for content I don't intend to share on YouTube. It just stays archived in wonderfully preserved highlights that can be consumed, and still consumed. There's a number of folks who are either, like, skittish about Twitch highlights, or find it harder to watch content on Twitch as opposed to YouTube. It is what it is. It's here. Like, I'm only gonna handhold you so much. That's all I'll say about that. I personally enjoy watching Twitch VODs more than I do stuff being shuttled on over to YouTube. Anyway, if you are looking to receive notifications about when I broadcast, I primarily do those through Discord, my Discord server. I am a Discord partner, so you can use the vanity URL of discord.gg/Grimith, slap that into your browser, and it will spirit you away. Currently, I have a reaction poll running on there for the next Daggerfall run I'm going to be doing. I'll shift back to Unity for that. Where I'm having viewers choose between two runs, Practical Magic, or From Noodle Arm to Flyweight. From Noodle Arm to Flyweight is currently crushing Practical Magic, much like Pain Has a Face crushed the Just Got My Vamped Up run. And looks like this is going to be live broadcasted as well, instead of locally recorded. So that's happening there. My Discord server is not for much. It just serves to facilitate communication, because long-form communication is difficult on YouTube. So it fills that role, and then it fills me notifying folks about live broadcasts through a opt-in Discord pingable role, because I don't do everyone pings and hear pings for broadcasts. Fucking I'd have to throw myself out a window alongside all of you. Couldn't do that. Alright, now that we've butchered that explanation, there is also a Twitter. Oh my god, this is what I get for logging in. Oh, jeez, not logging in, but switching to a browser that I don't use to record this. Good heavens. It's so bright. Alright, we need to swap away from that. And there's also a Patreon, which is also blindingly bright. But I have some corporate obligations to fill here. There's an update video insult category that some viewers slotted into, and I need to do that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be properly fulfilling that category. I'd just be taking people's money, and that'd be terrible of me. I would never want to do that. So, greetings to Applejack, Zachary McKinley, Longshot137, Mog, Tiny Shopkeeper, Perpentok, Necrolotu, Cast Iron Dude, Kalen, Putero, Nick King, and Proxy Bane. Not much of an insult to say that I appreciate you all helping me indulge in my escapism. Alright? Good. We did that part. Finally, as for, spooky, potentially ominous things that I said during last month's update video, that's still very much in effect. I'm still evaluating my feelings about stories and sharing them with others, and group interaction, and using a computer, and spending my time through this medium. Yeah, now there are good signs that I have I played quite a few games last month, and I found enjoyment in exploring them and telling stories, and that also extended to sharing those stories through a live medium, through a streaming platform. But as for locally recorded content, I haven't felt it. And I don't think that's going to change this month, and I don't know how I'm going to feel moving forward. Will this be the time that Grimith shifts away from telling stories completely, using, local recordings, and shifts almost entirely to telling stories through a streaming service? As of now, I don't know the answer to that question. Over all of the years of Let's Get On With It, I've oscillated between one and the other. I've enjoyed both local and live stream. They provide different ways of telling stories, different focuses. Foci, even. Emphasization. Yes. Emphasizing. Emphasis. Good work, Grimith. And it is encouraging that I have enjoyed sharing stories with others, but So here's the thing, and I don't feel too much about wanting to get into a long-form conversation about this right now either, as I'm unpacking and processing my emotions. But I have a I have a harder time carrying recordings. I like I my sentences are harder to structure. My brain is full of cotton on many days, much like Jimmy, Jimmy the Pulsating Mass. Uh, like coherent and cohesion is more difficult for me, and articulation is more challenging. And I've talked about this before, last year, particularly whenever I did the Caves of Cud stuff, and then in update videos around then, and it's been a running theme for Let's Get On With It, where I am no longer confident in my ability to express feelings aloud about a game I am playing. Having a live audience gives me someone to bounce off of. It distracts me from playing the game, but affords me an avenue in which to continue interaction, which is something I care about in the pursuit of Let's Get On With It. Part of my problem is self-fulfilling in that because I lack confidence in my ability to articulate and express and carry meaningful conversation while playing a game, that I then become unable to do those things. But part of it is also just the pain I'm in that's been running in the background, and the medication I'm taking, which is running in the background. There we go. And while those themes I expressed may not matter to you on an individual level, they matter to me. And because I am the person I am the content creator who is sculpting the frame of storytelling for all of us to frolic around in, that's a big fucking deal. Much as I must be the curator of my own content, and I am responsible for what I shift or even upload, because, they're looking back over years, there's dozens of hours of content, an entire series I scrapped, and have never seen the light of day, like me playing things. I was just like, no, this isn't good enough. This does not meet my standards. I will not share this. That's, fitting along with that. And while I am a lax content creator and am willing to share many things others may not find appropriate for global consumption, I do have standards. Yeah. That's how I feel about that. This faithlessness in myself has extended to all elements of my life. It reminds me of how my dad felt in his final years, lacking focus and drive and a faith in himself to remember things, a trust in himself to be able to perform tasks. Sufficiently committed and dedicated to something, I feel as if I can do it. Sometimes. Maybe. I actually don't. That was an attempt to positive think myself right there, and no. I know too better. Too well. Alright, we're approaching the 20-minute mark. Somehow I managed to turn this into a ramble. This is what happens when I don't take notes. I can't fucking trust myself these days. Here we are. At least this part of me is accurate, right? We'll see what kind of stories I feel like telling this month, either local or live. And we'll have a more long-form discussion next month. Okie dokie.